all those intro clips were filmed on the GoPro Hero 10. On my recent trip to Canada with the boys, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see whether or not it's possible to get nice cinematic looking footage just with the GoPro. And the reason why I wanted to do this challenge was that I often get complaints or people saying, I can't get that kind of footage because I don't have that specific camera or that specific lens. So I thought, why not challenge myself to see whether or not it's possible to get cinematic looking footage with an affordable camera like a GoPro Hero 10 at only $400 US. Welcome back to the studio. If you're liking the video so far, remember to subscribe to be part of this channel and hit that like button because it does wonders with the algorithm gods. Looking back from the footage from the GoPro Hero 10, I'm actually really impressed because the last time I filmed with GoPro was the GoPro Hero 7. And back then, I didn't really like filming with the GoPro because I felt like the footage was kind of mushy and it had this digital action camera look, but with the GoPro Hero 10, it was a totally different experience. In my opinion, the GoPro Hero 10 actually looks really good, especially when you have the right settings. So that's why I thought that in today's video, I would give you guys 5 tips on how to make the GoPro Hero 10 look more cinematic. Tip number 1 on how to make your GoPro footage look more cinematic is use the right lens mode. Now I understand because the GoPro is first and foremost an action camera, most of the time people are filming with a very wide point of view because you want to be able to get that action, get in there close. But I find that oftentimes you're getting that crazy distortion and there's not a lot of depth to the footage, which makes it hard to make it look cinematic. Now, that's one thing I really love about the GoPro Hero 10 is that it has a feature where you can choose different lens modes. And I found that when you're using the lens modes narrow and linear, it's a lot less wider, meaning there's less distortion and you're able to get a nicer depth of field to the footage. Of course, if you're filming action sports, you're gonna use the super wide or the wide, but if you want a more cinematic look to your B-roll, I would highly recommend choosing narrow or linear. You're gonna get way less distortion and people's heads aren't gonna be all weird and distorted. Tip number 2 on how to get that cinematic footage out of the GoPro Hero 10, make sure you're filming in a flat picture profile. With the GoPro Hero 10, in the Pro Tools section, you can decide what kind of picture profile you want for your footage. Now, most people probably would just film with a standard picture profile if they're not experienced filmmaker and they don't know how to get that cinematic look. And the problem with that is that you're gonna have a baked in look into your camera. It's gonna be very digitally sharpened and it's gonna already have the contrast and saturation, and it's not gonna get the same amount of dynamic range because it already has a picture profile built in. Now, with the GoPro Hero 10, I chose in Pro Tools to get a flat picture profile. That way it's gonna be very flat, it's not gonna have contrast, it's not gonna have saturation, so I can get that dynamic range in the shot, and as well, I'm gonna have more flexibility to grade the footage into a certain direction that I want afterwards in post. As well, I chose to have a sharpness of just medium, and you probably could go even to low because often action sports cameras like the GoPro has a little bit too much of a digital sharpness feel to it, so make sure you're bringing down the sharpness look within the camera settings. Before I continue on to tip number 3, I just want to give a quick shout out to this episode's sponsor, a long-term partner of my channel, and that's Epidemic Sound. In my opinion, Epidemic Sound is the best place to get the best music for your videos. And not only just music, they have amazing sound effects that you can really spice up your videos. And this is all for a very affordable price. And not only has it always been very affordable, it's just gotten even more affordable because right now with the code Teppo50 and using the link in my description, you're gonna get 50% off the yearly personal plan. So if you're not yet using Epidemic Sound, or maybe you are on the month to month, I would highly recommend using the code Teppo50 using the link in my description. This is an unheard of discount and I actually don't know how long it's gonna last, so make sure you jump on that and make use of that code. All right, just wanted to give a quick thanks to Epidemic Sound. Let's jump back into tip number 3. Tip number 3 3, getting cinematic footage out of the GoPro Hero 10, make sure you're choosing the right bitrate. This is super simple but huge. In the Pro Tools section, there's a slot where you can choose bitrate. Make sure it's as high as possible because that means you're gonna get the most high quality looking footage out of the GoPro Hero 10, making it just look overall better. You're gonna have more flexibility in post to color grade and all that jazz. So make sure you're filming with a very high bitrate. Now, of course, if you're using the GoPro Hero 10 just to document or make really long vlogs and you want to be able to film more with the camera and not just film your cards, maybe you're going to shoot with a lower bitrate. But if you're using the GoPro Hero 10 for specifically filming nice cinematic looking footage, make sure you have a high bitrate. Tip number 4, this is a big one. Avoid filming people's faces from very close. Something I learned very quickly with the GoPro Hero 10 is that it has a fixed focus. I believe it's about 12 inches from a person. So if you go with a really wide angle view and you go close to someone's face, it's gonna look out of focus. And it's not gonna be that, artsy, cool looking out of focus feel you can get with a mirrorless camera and a high aperture. It's just gonna look bad. Kind of like when I used to shoot weddings and I would do a group shot and sometimes I would forget to crank the aperture a little bit higher and I would take the photo and you get a shot where the back row is out of focus and the front row is in focus. Or if I took a portrait of someone at 1.4 from really close and their eyes are in focus and their nose is out of focus. It just doesn't look good. So I noticed that, usually with a mirrorless camera I often would, push in or pull out to get those nice cinematic shots. Well, don't do that with the GoPro Hero 10. Try doing movements a little bit more side to side and keep a little bit of distance from the people, and then you won't run into problems with that fixed focus on the GoPro Hero 10. And now, last but not least, tip number 5 on how to get cinematic footage out of the GoPro Hero 10. Take advantage of the gimbal-like smoothness and the slow motion capabilities of the GoPro Hero 10. Being able to film 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second, you're getting a really nice slow motion feel to the footage. And because the GoPro Hero 10 has such an amazing smooth gimbal-like features to this camera, make sure you take advantage. Do some nice really pans like this or slowly walk towards, now not too close to your subject, and you're gonna really be able to take advantage of this tiny camera. You won't need to have this huge mirrorless camera with a huge lens gimbal setup, but just with this small little guy, you can just, push in slowly, move side to side, getting that nice cinematic feel to the footage. And that's that. 5 tips on how to get cinematic footage out of GoPro Hero 10. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. I know for myself, this was a lot of trial and error to figure out how to get the right looking footage, but overall, I'm very happy with the look of the GoPro Hero 10, and I could easily see myself bring this little camera onto different shoots in order to get that nice cinematic footage because, well, it's just so small and easy to take with me anywhere, and the footage looks really dang good. Once again, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this community. If you like this video, smash that like button. Comment below what you think about the GoPro Hero 10, whether you've tried it out or not. What are your favorite features about this camera? What don't you like about the camera? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Once again, thank you Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this episode and being a partner of this channel. And don't forget guys, there's the link in description for 50% off the personal yearly subscription, and that is unheard of. And I've heard, if the rumor is true, that deal is gonna end soon. So make sure you go click the link in the description, use the code Teppo50, and you are gonna get a nice steal of a deal, 50% off the yearly subscription. All right, we are out of here.